Hey you guys, my name is Smika. This is my channel MacLeod. I hope you enjoyed that very interesting opening. Today we're going to be talking about the Claiming of Sleeping Beauty by Anne Rice under her pen name A.N. Rocklora, and I am excited about talking about this. I do have very many opinions and things I would like to say about this book. Full disclaimer, this book is about sex. It is smut, is erotica, is whatever you want to call it. It is a fairy tale retelling in a smut format, I guess would be the best way to describe this. And if that is not something you are interested in, you know, your triggers are, you know, anything involving like maybe rape or any kind of sexual assault, I guess we'll say in this case, BDSW or anything like that, then maybe, you know, this book isn't for you. But I'm going to go now on to the review. So for the most part, everybody gets raped in this book, so I feel like maybe I should let you know that. Yeah. This will be a spoiler-free review. This is the story after Sleeping Beauty has fallen asleep. Kind of retells how the prince woke her up and what happened afterwards. And the biggest thing that you'll learn from just the first chapter is that he doesn't just wake her up with a kiss, you guys. I mean, he wakes her up by, you know, just ripping off her clothes and using his male member. Yeah, it gets pretty sexy in just chapter 1. From further on, in this book, she is known as Beauty. That is her name. She doesn't have any other name. And the prince name is Prince. So, I mean, really didn't get too crazy as far as names are concerned. The queen is the queen. So there are some people who have actual names in this book, and those are some of the ones you really want to watch out for. The more likely to have a name, the more likely to have an insane story. Let's get on to what this book's about. What is this book about? So this is the story of Beauty, as I had said earlier, and after the prince wakes her up, he makes a decision to send her to his palace where she will be trained, and when she leaves, she'll be an even more better princess than she could have ever hoped to be. And the king and queen of the kingdom were like, you know, why are you taking our daughter? And he was like, the prince was like, well, I just woke up your entire kingdom from an evil spell. The least you can do is give me your daughter for a little bit so then I can make her a better person. I mean, if you have an issue with that, I'm pretty sure my kingdom's military is better than yours if you want to test that. So they relinquish their daughter and tell her, please be good while you're in the hands of the prince. He will take good care of you and do everything he tells you to do. And so Beauty does this. One of the things he tells her to do is to be completely naked, and she's to never ever wear clothes, and she's never to look at another man other than the prince. So Beauty walks to the kingdom butt-ass naked. And I mean, people notice, but also the prince is quite the tyrant and no one touches her without his permission. But here's the thing, this SOB gives people permission. Not to penetrate her or anything like that, but to touch her and stuff like that. And in this way, she is humiliated. And this is what he wants to do. He was like, you should love your body. And it's just like, wow, you know, I love the message of loving your body and just being naked and all that stuff. But I don't like people touching me without my permission, which, you know, it's like, okay. I was reading what Anne Rice said at the beginning of this book, where she kind of like, hey, before you read this book, you should listen to what I have to say. And she pretty much talked about this book is about giving up control. And so a lot of this book really pushes upon giving up control and falling completely into that. And what does that mean? How's that defined? And so BDSM is the story of this book. And so you're going to learn a lot about how Beauty has to speak to the prince, how she has to conduct herself. She finally does get to the castle where there are other slaves, all of them princes and princesses, all waiting to be released one day back to her kingdom. And some of them definitely do. That's one thing I guess is good, is that they do. But Beauty sees all kinds of stuff, and I mean, it's really just all surrounding this whole erotica lifestyle. And she meets another prince who she falls for, but no one knows. She keeps it a secret for the most part. And he tells her his story, and the second half of this book really is just about who he was, how he came there, and where he is now. And Beauty makes a decision that she's going to rebel against it, and when she does, it leads to the second book. Do I recommend you to read this? Yes. If you like erotica, if you like these kinds of stories, again, I'm gonna probably try to compare this to 50 Shades of Grey. 50 Shades of Grey, I think, was this baby's bitch. So if you did like 50 Shades of Grey, I think you will like this. This will catch you off guard. Do not come into this thinking this is like your regular old erotica, like, oh, this is gonna give me the ooh feels, and then, you know, you're gonna be like all whoopity boo. You're gonna be a little bit uncomfortable in some of these chapters. You're gonna be like, oh, that shit's not fucking cool. What? She just let that happen? So just be aware that it gets really strange really quickly. Is this a love story, you guys? I don't know. I mean, if it is, she's fallen in love with a lot of people. It has a lot to say with can one fall in love with multiple people, because Beauty certainly does. I went into this knowing that it was going to be strange and it was going to get weird, so I wasn't taken aback from that at all. So hopefully that will help you in reading this damn book. It is not long to do the things that it does in this book. You will read it slowly. For people who can read it fast, more power to you. I read it slowly because I had to digest that chapter. Like, every chapter is like balls in your face, and sometimes you just gotta digest it, put it down, go to bed, and try to again tomorrow. Like, so, but I really enjoyed reading this. I found it very interesting. In school, I was in human sexuality, and I met someone who was, I guess, a submissive in a BDSM relationship, and then she recently became a dominant, and people pay her to dominate them, and she was a dominatrix. You get it. So I was really interested in this world when I heard about it, and it's very interesting. It's very provocative. All I want to say is, like, give it a chance. I really did enjoy it. Again, if this is not for you, this is just not for you. No one will shame you for like passing on this. However, for those who are a little bit more adventurous and a little bit more, I don't know, fun, I think you'll enjoy this. I do not recommend this to anyone. You hear me? Anyone under the age of 18. Do not read this if you're under the age of 18. I will not tell your parents that it's okay for you to read this book, because it is not. I'm not sure if I was appropriate for me to read this book, and I'm almost 30, you guys. So this book was crazy, but I really did enjoy it. I do plan on going on with this series. It is a trilogy. Believe it or not, there's more to this crazy story. And so, again, I've been wanting to tell y'all about this book, and I do hope that you get the chance to pick it up. And if you do, you can either comment below. If you're embarrassed, you can DM me on Twitter or Instagram and just tell me your feels or anything about this book and how you were liking it. But anyway, I enjoyed reading it, and I enjoyed making this video, and I really do hope to see y'all again in the next video. And I'll see y'all again soon. Bye.